From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
And good evening to you here at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Mullins. We begin tonight in Boone County, where the Zionsville Police Department has formed a brand new unit to better serve people with behavioral health issues. Police often respond to calls involving people suffering a mental health crisis who do not pose a threat to the public. To better serve people in need of a clinician when police are dispatched, the Zionsville Police Department created its REACH unit, which stands for Resources Evaluating Assisting in Community Health. Chief Michael Sparks has been pushing for a behavioral health unit since he joined the department earlier this year. He came from the Indianapolis Metro Police Department, which has had a similar unit since 2016. When there's a mental health situation, both an officer and a local clinician from Integrated Wellness will respond and assess how they can assist and connect them with the appropriate resources.
It's not just for the safety of our first responders, but it's also for the community that these people live in that are in crisis. You know, they live in neighborhoods just like we do. They have families. Sometimes these families feel like they're at a dead end and they don't know what else to do. That's where we would step in and help them.
In November, the REACH unit was called 5 times to respond to a crisis. We put together a list of mental health services anyone in Indiana can utilize, as well as Boone County mental health providers on our website, and you can find that at WRTV.com. Now the latest on the coronavirus and its impact in Indiana. The Indiana State Department of Health says another 3,758 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with COVID-19. 143 more Hoosiers have died. That's a single-day record, by the way. The total number of deaths is now 7,244. Since March, more than 471,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19, and more than 5.3 million tests have been administered in Indiana. Older adults and frontline essential workers will be next in line to receive COVID-19 vaccines. The CDC has accepted an advisory committee's recommendation for vaccine prioritization. It's what's being called Phase 1B. Adults ages 75 and older and frontline workers like first responders have priority to get vaccines. The committee also approved Phase 1C, which prioritizes adults ages 65 to 75 and people ages 16 to 64 who have high-risk medical conditions and other essential workers. The committee says other essential workers include those in education, food, transportation, public safety, and wastewater industries. We continue to track the COVID-19 vaccine rollout here across central Indiana, and we've mentioned Walgreens is one of the companies helping to vaccinate the public for COVID-19. So we wanted to check in on how Phase 1 of the rollout is going. Plus, we asked their chief medical officer how they are working to prepare for the final phase where the general public is eligible for the vaccine.
When we get to that point, we hope that'll be as early as the spring. It's important that we focus not only on the distribution and the administration of these vaccines, but also on the education around it. So we're spending a lot of time right now working with our pharmacy teams. We want to make sure that they have the most up-to-date information so that they can educate people across the country. Again, when you have the knowledge, well, then you can make a good decision for yourself and for your families.
You can see more of our conversation with Dr. Ben, plus stay up to date on the latest timing and phases of the vaccines by going to our website at WRTV.com/coronavirus. As more frontline workers step up to get the first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in our state, many people are watching to see what new moms and pregnant women are going to do. We know that as of right now, they haven't studied the effects of the vaccines on pregnant or nursing mothers. At IU Health, Lana DeBevo is an infectious disease doctor, and she's been busy in this pandemic, not only as a doctor on the front lines, but also as a new mom. She gave birth to her first child 6 months ago and is still nursing. And today, she is scheduled to get her COVID-19 vaccine. We spoke to her about why she says she feels confident getting the vaccine right now. And she gives us some insight as to what other mothers can do when weighing the potential risks and benefits.
I think this was the golden opportunity, but then you get this wait, I am a new mom or I am pregnant or planning to be pregnant. So is that a good reason to stop? And we definitely know what the impact of COVID is on women who are pregnant and on kids. So I think seeing that contrast between a vaccine that's been tried now for several months, no major side effects, no major troubles with it, and then knowing how the vaccines work usually, that their mechanism of action makes me reassured that, okay, this is not a vaccine that I want to be scared of. It's not a live vaccine. It will not give you COVID.
When it comes to safety information about the vaccine, she recommends that you talk with your doctor as well as search for information from the CDC and the State Health Department. And a reminder, if you have any questions or concerns about the coronavirus vaccines, we are working for you with an entire section of our website dedicated to helping you find resources and information. Just visit WRTV.com/coronavirus. Time now for your WRTV Storm Team forecast, and we are settling in on the first full day of winter here, and it wasn't a bad day at all, Kevin.
And wait until tomorrow when we jump into the 50s. You'll say, where's winter? I'll find it for you in a second. Hopefully, you've seen Jupiter and Saturn here this evening in the southwest sky. They've been putting on a show, very low on the horizon now, so you may have some trouble because of the trees, but once you spot them, you can't miss them. Okay, temperatures around 40. Couple of exceptions. You can see Greenwood 39, 39 in Edinburgh. A little cooler in New Pal. The warmer temperatures are off to the west. They'll be here tomorrow. Temperatures upper 30s to 41 in Lafayette. The wind for now is light out of the south. The wind will increase overnight. We'll have gusts to 30 miles per hour when you wake up in the morning. That is a stage setter for temperatures in the 50s. There are your rain chances increasing into tomorrow evening. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. We'll talk about when we'll transition from rain to some snow as Arctic air arrives. That's all still ahead.
2020 set another record for homicides in Indianapolis. Next, we'll show you part of the city's response to make 2021 safer and to keep young people on the right path.
RTV and all your brand new devices.
Hundreds of Citizens Energy customers get a check by mistake. The company says a computer system error caused 1,500 customers to receive a check by mistake. The company claims once it realized the mistake, it issued a stop payment on the checks and sent out letters to instruct customers not to cash it. WRTV spoke with one woman who says that she thought the check was a Christmas miracle.
I mean, we're going through a crisis now. And anybody that receives a check, regardless of what's going on, you receive a check in your name, you're going to cash it.
We've got a full statement from Citizens Energy Group when you read this story at WRTV.com. Well, sadly, in Indianapolis, the year 2020 will be remembered for record-breaking violence. Tonight, WRTV reporter Cameron Riddle shows how the city is using funding to help keep violence from soaring in 2021.
With more than 230 homicides in the year 2020, the city of Indianapolis is putting $2.2 million behind dozens of projects designed to combat crime in Marion County. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Indianapolis is on the receiving end of $40,000 to fund its evening reporting center program, which is an alternative to juvenile detention.
We're working with juveniles, young folks who've gotten caught up in the system, ages 12 to 18, and our goal is to help them get removed from that and help them get back on the right path, if you will.
The Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis is just one of 25 organizations receiving 26 grants from the Central Indiana Community Foundation. Maggie Lewis is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis. She says the evening reporting program is year-round and serves about 100 boys and girls throughout the year. It's a tactic to keep at-risk youth off the streets and out of trouble after school.
So every evening they're checking in with a team member from the Boys and Girls Club, let them know what's going on. And again, we literally go to their houses and pick them up and bring them to one of the clubs and work with them throughout the evening.
At a time where violence and trouble seems to be finding teens, giving those who have already been in trouble a safe and caring environment is part of the Boys and Girls Club's mission to tackle violence in Indianapolis.
When a child really has a place to go with adult supervision, it prevents them from getting themselves in trouble. It prevents them from having run-ins with law enforcement.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
The Central Indiana Community Foundation administers the grant using criteria and money allocated by the City County Council.
Mark rain first tomorrow. Then tomorrow night into Thursday, changing to some snow. We'll talk about how much and then how cold afterwards.
The Indiana State Fairgrounds.
President Trump is weighing increasingly on extreme measures to overturn the election, which he lost to President-elect Joe Biden by more than 7 million votes. And the lame duck president is surrounding himself with controversial supporters. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is in Washington with the latest.
With less than a month left in office, President Trump is considering increasingly desperate steps to overturn the will of the American people. The president meeting for several hours Monday with a group of House Republicans who are offering to contest the Electoral College vote affirming Joe Biden's victory in some battleground states when it's presented to Congress on January 6th. Top GOP Senator John Thune saying that effort will go down like a shot dog. And Senator Mitt Romney adding this.
I think it's embarrassing to have the president focus on these matters when so many people are suffering with COVID.
The president is now surrounding himself with supporters like controversial attorney Sidney Powell, just weeks after the Trump campaign broke with her, and pardoned former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who twice pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News they've suggested unprecedented schemes like putting martial law in place in battleground states Trump lost and seizing voting machines to reverse the election results. Powell has been at the White House 3 of the past 4 days. But Rudy Giuliani, who spearheaded the Trump campaign's failed legal challenges contesting the votes, tried to distance himself and the president from Powell in an interview with Newsmax.
Let me say definitively, Sidney Powell is not part of our legal team.
And Attorney General Bill Barr, one of the president's staunchest defenders, is breaking ranks with the president, pouring cold water on the conspiracies and insisting there was no widespread fraud in the election.
I see no basis now for seizing machines by the federal government.
The NAACP Legal Defense Fund is bringing new claims in a lawsuit previously filed against President Trump, his campaign, and the RNC, alleging they're engaging in a coordinated effort to disenfranchise black voters by disrupting vote counts and by attempting to block the certification of results in predominantly black areas. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Wearing a mask without social distancing may not be enough to stop the coronavirus from spreading. Scientists at New Mexico State University say they used a machine to simulate coughs and sneezes to test 5 different types of masks. Researchers found that, except for the N95 mask, many small sneezes or cough droplets were still able to escape, even if the masks were snug. The scientists say masks definitely help, but if people are very close to each other, there is still a chance of spreading or contracting the virus. The city of Fishers today announced new restrictions aimed at limiting holiday gatherings, especially New Year's Eve parties at bars and restaurants. The Fishers Health Department announced today, starting on Christmas Day, bars, restaurants, and clubs in Fishers must close for in-person service at 10 p.m. each night. The rules will stay in place until January 8th. The city says it has seen an increase in coronavirus cases this month and is trying to stop the spread that could be caused by public gatherings around the holidays. Rideshare company Lyft says it will provide 60 million rides to and from vaccination sites for low-income, uninsured, and at-risk communities as vaccines roll out. The initiative will include transportation to and from their destination, as well as rides for their second and final dose. Lyft partnered with several organizations such as United Way, National Hispanic Council on Aging, and Anthem. The organizations will also decide whether the rides are free or discounted. If you buy Lean Cuisine products, you might want to look at the box. A recall has just been issued for more than 92,000 pounds of food that contain white meat chicken, stuffing, red skin mashed potatoes, and gravy. The Agriculture Department says bits of a broken conveyor belt while making the potatoes could be in the food. So far, there are no reports of any injuries. The meals were produced and packaged back in September. They have an expiration date of next October, so they might still be in the freezer.
Well, we'll all be in the freezer, so to speak, as we get to Thursday and Christmas Day. Temperatures will hit rock bottom in the single digits Christmas morning. Ahead of all of that, a nice surge into the 50s. Enjoy temperatures tomorrow at about 55. Now, the wind will temper your enjoyment. That deep low pressure, you think of it as a hole in the atmosphere. The deeper the hole, the faster the air rushes in to fill that. It's mild at first tomorrow. Through most of the day, that south wind brings in warmer temperatures, more moisture, and brings the rain in the afternoon, but it becomes more widespread in the evening. There's your strengthening wind during the day tomorrow, gusting frequently to 40 miles per hour. Let's pick up the timeline as we go overnight tomorrow night and into the morning hours, we transition from rain to rain-snow mix and then a burst of snow as the colder air catches remaining moisture. Then it will be off to the east. As far as any accumulation, looks to be certainly under an inch, the way we see it now, in most cases under half an inch. But it gives us a chance for a white Christmas because whatever we end up with will be locked in place for a while. Temperatures single digits on Christmas morning, right around 10 in the metro area, but outlying areas at the 8 or 9 degree temperature range. If the wind calms down more, that may allow coldest temperatures to drop even a little lower. Temperatures tomorrow, though, before the cold snap. Lower 50s, Logansport and Marion. Clouds will increase through the day. Rain chances will increase as well. Temperatures mid-50s, and to the south, mid-50s, Bedford, Seymour, 53 in Sullivan. We pick up timeline again tomorrow evening. That thin line right along the change in wind direction in the cold front, that moves through. There's your burst of snow again on the backside, zipping to the east, and we'll be in the cold flow behind that. Maybe a third of an inch of moisture with this, some of it converted to light snow. Thursday, temperatures don't go anywhere. They'll stay in the lower 20s through the day. As we mentioned, Christmas morning, single digits to around 10 degrees. Then we're off to the races. Temperatures warm back up after a modest 21 on Christmas Day. We're at 38 Saturday with lots of sunshine. Sunday, a chance of rain as temperatures work their way back into the lower 40s. It grabs our attention, and then we get a little warmer. We'll be back right after this.
Mazda in Westfield.
After the shortest offseason in NBA history, basketball is back. The NBA is out of the bubble and tipping off its new abbreviated season tonight. Commissioner Adam Silver has implemented several changes. Unlike last season, which was played in isolation in Orlando, this time teams will be on their home courts and players will be tested daily.
The testing is designed so that if we do have a positive case, that player can quickly be isolated from his teammates to avoid, obviously, what would be terrible, and that is a spread among an entire team.
There will only be 72 games rather than the usual 82. The league so far has only released half their schedule, leaving some flexibility in case any games need to be postponed. The NBA says it will negotiate with players, coaches, and staff about whether they'll be required to get the vaccine once it's available to them. Hey, check out this new ugly Christmas sweater from Ford. The automaker calls it the Safe Distance Christmas Jumper. It projects the shape of a Christmas tree around you and creates a safe zone for others nearby. The sweater works through small projectors hidden in the reindeer's antlers, nose, and tail. It's a concept design, so you can't get this one just yet. It's also unclear if the projection works in daylight. The sweater is part of Ford's ongoing Share the Road campaign to promote safe driving. Nothing like your snowman vest, though, Kevin.
That's right. I got to get that back out. I will. And my red jacket as we get closer to Christmas. Temperatures in the low 50s tomorrow, if not a little warmer. Rain late in the day. Mark?
All right. Thanks for choosing WRTV News at 7. We're back with you tonight at 11. Have a good evening until then.